Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance.
Linda Renn remembers Corey, the individual she served for 8 years, with profound compassion and understanding. It wasn't easy being a person with autism, said Linda, a direct support professional with Renn, Iowa Community Services in Vinton. It wasn't easy being a person who was visually impaired. Corey came to Renn after living in an institution for 18 years. Corey will never cook, they said. Corey will never use Braille. She'll break the Brailler. Linda refused to write off this woman as others had before her. She understood what others couldn't. Corey needs people who want her to succeed and are willing to dedicate the time it takes, thought Linda. Linda's approach is reminiscent of Anne Sullivan, Helen Keller's legendary teacher and companion. When Sullivan arrived at the Keller home in 1887, she found a child who could barely function. Sullivan quickly pivoted from Helen's strict curriculum to a more tactile approach. Helen's aha moment came when Sullivan ran water over Helen's hand while spelling out W-A-T-E-R in the other. The mystery of language was revealed to me, Helen later wrote. Within 6 months, she learned 575 words. Touch was just as important to Corey. So was predictability. Linda used duct tape to help her identify her surroundings. She would run her hands over objects and walls until she felt safe and at home. When Corey prepared for weekend visits with her father, she and Linda created what they called a ticket in Braille. A ticket outlined everything Corey wanted to accomplish during their time together. Trips to the car wash, haircuts, meals. Corey had a personality that wouldn't quit, recalled Linda. When frustration overtook her, she would confess her outbursts in the third person with a big smile. Corey, pull down the picture, she would say with a chuckle. If she had a bad day, explained Linda, she could curse like a sailor. But Linda's response was refreshingly laid back. Sometimes you just have to laugh and go with the moment, she said. Linda's talents, her ability to navigate the minefields of Corey's personality, her skill in creating an environment in which she could thrive, were critical when Corey moved to a new home. Linda visited ahead of the time, assessed what changes would be required, briefed the staff, modeled interactions for them, and then brought Corey for her own preview. Corey felt the walls, doors, and furniture. She spent time in her new room. Any concerns of a difficult transition evaporated. Linda did the same to ease the transition for Corey's roommate, who relies on Linda even now for emotional support, calling Linda in the morning and before she goes to bed. Linda chose to follow Corey to her new home so she could continue to support her. The wisdom of this decision was apparent when Corey became gravely ill with pneumonia. She was taken to the local hospital in a snowstorm. Linda helped the doctors and nurses understand how to care for her until she could be transferred to the ICU in Cedar Rapids. The two women traveled together in an ambulance, and Linda sat with her day and night. She was sedated, but she could hear me, recalled Linda, who played Corey's favorite songs from a playlist they put together for their nightly routine. Linda used her personal time to stay by Corey's side. She was with her when Corey drew her last breath. She touched me in so many ways, said Linda. She taught me patience, empathy, and unconditional love. She taught me to find joy in every accomplishment, no matter how small. She made me a better person. Typical Linda. She is motivated by all the individuals she serves, and she expresses nonstop gratitude for the joy and learning they bring to her life. It's more like she's part of their family than a caregiver, said Melinda Grimm, program director at Renn, Iowa, and Linda's nominator. When I introduce her to others, I always start with, "This is my best DSP." Linda, according to Melinda, you are not just a ripple of hope, but a tsunami. We honor you with this award, and we celebrate your big and generous heart.